Hello, everyone. Welcome to our information session about our LL.M program and the Thomas R. Kline School of Law here at Duquesne University. My name is Joe DeCrosta, and I'm the Executive Director in the Center for Global Engagement here at the university. We're really happy to be with all of you here today to talk about this new and exciting program, especially designed for international students in our School of Law. First, I'd like to introduce you to the rest of my team here at the university in the Center for Global Engagement, and that is my colleague Sarah Souza, who is the Assistant Director of International Admissions in our office and works with most international students coming through the application process. And our Manager of International Admissions, Ed Muldoon, who also works with many applicants, especially through some of the agent relationships that we have. So I'm also here with the Director of Admissions in our Kline School of Law here at the university, Maureen Stoken, and one of our law professors and former international student here at Duquesne University, Dorothée Landgraf. So we're really excited to be able to share this information with you today. If we can go back to the agenda. So we're going to go through some information about Pittsburgh in general and about our university. A lot of people are not familiar with the Pittsburgh region, but it's a wonderful place to live and study, especially for international students new to the United States. So we're going to talk to you about that a bit more. And then Professor Landgraf, Dr. Landgraf, is going to talk you through the details of the LL.M program. And then Ms. Stoken is going to walk you through the application process as well. We are recording this presentation for future use. So please send this to your colleagues and students that may be interested in a program like this. So again, thank you for joining us today, and I'm going to pass on the presentation to my colleague, Sarah, who will talk to you about Duquesne and Pittsburgh.
Thank you so much, Dr. DeCrosta. So I first want to just introduce to you a little bit about what the Center for Global Engagement does here at Duquesne University. So we work with all international students when they come into the university. So any student that's coming to Duquesne from another country, we work with them on immigration. We work with them through the admission process and up through their time here, really. So we're going to touch on all of those things in the presentation. But first, I wanted to tell you a little bit about our location because Pittsburgh, you probably heard about, but doesn't mean that you'll be able to locate where we are. We're actually located on the East Coast of the United States, the Northeast, sort of midsection to be a little bit more clear. You can see on the map, it's where the star is. And I have highlighted here major cities also on the East Coast that you are probably more familiar with: Boston, New York, Philadelphia, DC. And all of these places are under 2 hours flight for sure, some even shorter. For example, DC is only about 25-minute flight from here, or driving about 4.5 hours. So we're very well located in the East, major university area. Pittsburgh is famous for universities and education. We're also only a 30-minute drive from the airport. So this might not mean a lot to you, but here in the United States, it's quite common that many major universities are located in more rural settings. That is not the case with Duquesne. I can show you here where we are located. So on the right, you'll see that this is the downtown of Pittsburgh, city of bridges. We have a lot of bridges. We have 3 rivers. It's a great scenic area. And the right arrow, the white arrow to the right, is pointing down at where our campus is located. So we are right in the downtown of Pittsburgh, which is great for students. So that means that transportation, very convenient. You do not need to have a car to be here as a student. That saves a lot of money, and it's still convenient. If you choose to stay in the area of Duquesne, you will be very well located for all of your living needs. And also many students choose to live close within walking or transportation distance to campus and find it to be very affordable, which is something else that we highlight a lot about Pittsburgh, affordability. All of those major cities that you saw on the map that I just showed you, we are at the lowest end of cost of living. So that is excellent for international students. You're able to save money while you study and have an excellent education, an excellent experience, which my colleagues in the law school will be telling you about, but able to save on that cost of living. To the left, you'll see a picture of our campus. So although we're located in an urban setting, we're right downtown, we still have a park-like setting. You can see the green trees, and that's really important when you're studying very hard to have that nice scenery around you. It's what you would imagine an American campus to be like. I always tell students. I just had some German students come up to me when they first came to Duquesne, and they said, this is like I feel like I'm in a movie about a college campus. So it really gives you that feeling, even though we're in the downtown setting. So it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. A little bit more about Pittsburgh. I mentioned we're at a very affordable city, and that's why we've been voted the most livable city in America multiple times. We have a lot to offer. These are some pictures of highlights from around the city from the arts. Andy Warhol's famously from Pittsburgh, here featuring his famous Marilyn Monroe paintings. We are also famous for sports. People love sports here. So if you're an athletic person, you'll love to take part in that sports culture here. Also Heinz ketchup from Pittsburgh, just kind of a funny thing to highlight. But really, we are formally known as the Steel City. It's still commonly referred to Pittsburgh, but we've come a long way from the Steel City. Now we're famous for tech. We're famous for healthcare, and we're very famous for education, home to more than 20 colleges and universities in the Pittsburgh area. So that means that we have many international students that come to Pittsburgh to study. Just in this about 5-kilometer radius, we have tens of thousands of international students because of the schools located in this area: University of Pittsburgh, Duquesne University, Carnegie Mellon University. So it's a great location. You'll find a lot of students like yourself that come here to study from all over the world. And right now we have more than 70 countries represented on campus at Duquesne. So we welcome students from everywhere, and we're excited to see students representing countries that we don't have. So my colleagues are going to tell you a little bit more about how you're able to get here to take part in this program, but we wanted to share those highlights of the city to you first because we believe that's a real exciting feature of Duquesne University. So turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Dorothy Landgraf, and she can tell us more about this LL.M program.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Dorothy Landgraf, and as you can hear, I'm German, so not native English, and I was Duquesne Kline's first LL.M for foreign lawyer students back in 2005. And I had a wonderful experience, and I obviously liked it so much that I'm now living back in Pittsburgh again. I'm teaching at the Duquesne's Kline Law School as an adjunct professor, and I'm the coordinator for Duquesne's LL.M program. So first, I'd like to talk a little bit about the law school. Can you move over, Sarah, please, to the next slide? So when you pick an LL.M program, of course, you look at the law school because the value of an LL.M program depends from the value of the law school. Sarah already introduced you to the campus and where the law school is located. It's very beautiful, it's very nice, and it's a wonderful atmosphere. So if you ask American students why they apply for Duquesne, then we have the 5 top reasons why they do apply, which we can see on the next slide. Sarah, please. Thank you. So asking US students, they say, yes, a very important reason is, of course, the employment rate when you finish law school. And the rate is 94.2% from the class of 2021. Another important reason is for American students is the bar passing rate. If you're wondering what the bar passing rate means, the bar is the exam you have to take when you finalize law school in the US, and this allows you to be admitted to practice as a lawyer. And the bar passing rate is here at Duquesne's Kline Law School over 92%, which actually puts us in the top third of the nation, which is very good and very important for a good law school as well. Sarah already pointed out that we have a very good urban location, which allows Duquesne students to participate in the clinical and externship program, which Duquesne Kline Law School is offering to our law students. So that's about a little bit about the law school itself. And now we will move forward to talk about the LL.M programs that we are offering. Oh, first, yes, I wanted to point out why the convenient location is very important. Here we have a picture of the law school. You can see where it is with the red arrow. And behind the law school, you can see all these taller buildings that are actually several courthouses and also law office. So you can participate in externships or clinicals during the day, and just within a short walking distance, you can go back and forward from the campus to the court or to the law firm and go back to the law school and finish your classes at law school without any bigger interference. So then let's talk about the LL.M program a little bit. So what are the reasons to apply for Duquesne Kline's LL.M program? First, we offer two different curriculums. One is a general curriculum and the other one is a backtrack curriculum. I will explain you the difference on the next slide in a few minutes. Let's talk about the other reasons what makes our program different and very interesting. One reason is we have a very modest size. We don't accept too many students to keep the program small and to keep the LL.M students in the group with all the JD students. What are the JD students? JD students are the American students. JD stands for Juris Doctor degree. So that's a degree that the American students receive at the end of their law school time. And since it's a small program, the LL.M students are sitting in the classroom next to the JD students. They are introduced in the daily activities of the JD students. They talk English to native American speakers and this helps tremendously to improve the English language and also close relationships to American students. Another reason for the law school is that we have, due to our smaller size of the law school, we have a very good individual attention with the students, and the faculty is very accessible. The professors are always have opening doors, they're welcoming students, and they know the students by name. This might be completely different to some bigger, particular European law schools where the students amount is very high, and except for seeing the professor in the classroom, they don't have more interference with students. That is different here at Duquesne. Additionally, we offer participation in externships with law firm and the courts as well. And the program runs for 2 semesters, and it always starts in fall to run in schedule with the classes that we are offering at the law school. Now, last but not least, the important reason is Duquesne's Center for Global Engagement. You already got to know some of our staff there, which is very welcoming, very nice. So let's move to the next slide. Thank you, Sarah. So I wanted to explain you our 2 different options when you pick the LL.M program. One is the general track and the other is the bar track. So the general track is a track that you can take if you're more interested in just gaining a general understanding about US legal systems and don't intend to sit for the bar in any of the states. So the difference is that the general track curriculum only requires 24 credits, while the bar track curriculum requires 1 credit more, 25 credits. Both programs run for 2 semesters, and the general track curriculum, the grading is based on pass and fail, and you can also require extra time or dictionary help for being a non-native speaker. This does not work for bar track curriculum. You are graded similar to the US JD candidate students. For both curriculums, you can participate in externships and have a mentor relationship. And in both curriculums, you receive a Master of Law as a degree. However, for the bar track curriculum, since you're graded similar to JD students, you can actually be awarded with an honors for your Master of Law degrees. And then, of course, you cannot sit for the bar in the general track curriculum because you don't fulfill fulfill the requirements to sit for the bar. And for the bar track curriculum, you are permitted in certain states to sit for the bar. If that is your intention, you kindly inform yourself before you start the program which state you like to sit for the bar, because every state has different requirements to make sure that you fulfill the requirement during your time at the law school. So this is a little bit an overview about curriculum that we offer, and both a wonderful and great experience to participate at the law school. And last but not least, yes, I just want to point out the faculty accessibility, because that's a major point for going to a school like Duquesne. There are some ratings, and where students have been asked how their ratings, accessibility of professors and their teaching. And as you can see, the Duquesne Kline's Law School is rated very high, and 95% out of the highest is 100. And that's very good to know and very interesting for students, particularly for non-native and students who like to have a closer relationship to the teachers and professors that they're working with. So with that, I'm handing it over to my colleague, Maureen.
Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Maureen Stoken. I'm Assistant Dean of Admissions at the Thomas R. Kline School of Law at Duquesne University. So I'm very pleased to be presenting to you today, and I'm going to talk to you about the application process. So we can look at the slide. So in the US, all of the law schools that you're going to be looking at are approved by the American Bar Association. That's our accrediting division. And so we are looking for students who have a background in law from whatever country they're from. Typically, we're going to be looking for programs like the LL.B in order to be able to apply for this program. The LL.M application is going to be similar, if you're familiar with the common application that undergraduates use. It's similar to that. All students to ABA approved law schools will apply through the Law School Admissions Council, the LSAC. And so when you go to our website, you will find that we send you right to the LSAC when it's time for you to apply. So you'll submit the application there, all of your documents will be sent there, and then we will receive that application once it is ready for review. Some of the things that you are required to submit: we require that you participate in what's called the Credential Assembly Service, CAS, through the LSAC. That just means that they will set up the application, they will collect all the documents and put it in the format that we'll receive. So that is a requirement. You'll also need to complete a credential evaluation. If your education was completed in English, then that's great. Then we'll accept those through the Credential Assembly Service. But if it was in a language other than English, then you're going to need to have that translation provided also. We do require a TOEFL or IELTS score, and later on I'll tell you exactly what we're looking for there. You have to send transcripts from all institutions that you've attended. Sometimes there's confusion about this. Students will say, well, that course I took at another school will appear on this transcript. We need all the original transcripts. We require one letter of recommendation. We suggest that that be from a faculty member or professor who taught you in college or in graduate school. But for some students, maybe you've been out of school for many years. And so in that case, we can be a little more flexible and we'll accept a letter of recommendation from a supervisor. That's somebody that knows your intellectual ability, your work ethic, and other pertinent things about you and can describe those things in the letter of recommendation. We require that you submit a current resume or CV, and that's important to us. So you'll want to make sure that you work on that. If you're not familiar with the format that is typically used in the US, we can help you by providing copies of those. We also submit a personal statement. We want to know, why are you interested in this program? What are your goals? Tell us a little bit about your background. So that can be, those can vary greatly from student to student. Okay, we'll go on to the next slide. Okay, application deadlines are important. So our application always opens on September 1st every year, and the priority application deadline is March 15th of this year, 2023. Applications received after the priority deadline will be considered on a space available basis. So we encourage you to get that application in as early as possible. You may submit the application before you have all of the documents complete. You can still submit that to us, and that's fine, because we can help you to determine what's still missing and what you need to do. Okay, we'll move on. The TOEFL and IELTS. So we want to assess your language ability. The legal education is very rigorous, and there's a lot of information. There's a high volume of reading and research. So we want to be sure that you are ready to be successful in this particular program. So the scores that we're looking for an overall score of 90 on the TOEFL and 7 on the IELTS, but certainly we're going to look at the individual sub-scores or bands for each of those tests. All candidates must successfully complete an interview with the Office of Admissions. We do that via Zoom. And once the application is submitted, I'll reach out to you to set up that interview. You'd be speaking with me, and we would spend about 30 minutes talking generally and learning more about each other. Okay. The credential evaluation is a very important part of this, because we're a small institution. We want to be sure that we have all of the detailed information about your background academically. And the best way for us to retrieve that is through the credential evaluation. LSAC, the agency that will be collecting your application, they do provide a service, but we also will accept WES, ECE, Spantran, Scalero, and NACES affiliated evaluators. So if you have any questions about that, or about a credential evaluation maybe that you've already had done, you can always reach out to us at lawadmissions@duq.edu. Any questions you have may also be submitted through lawadmissions@duq.edu. We're always willing to assist you. Okay. So costs are going to be very important. For many of you, your education has been free or very minimal cost. So you're going to have some sticker shock when you look at the cost of an education in the US. Our tuition is listed here. There are fees, and we try to give you a realistic idea of what you're going to spend on books and other supplies. Your living expenses, as Sarah mentioned previously, we have a very reasonable cost of living in the Pittsburgh area, but this may be, a little bit different than what you're used to. We also add in the visa and travel costs to come up with the total cost of attendance. We do have merit scholarships available. That's another reason that it's important to submit the application as early as possible, so that you can be considered for the merit scholarship pool of money that we have. The later you apply, the more chance that that scholarship money will already have been awarded. Okay. So now I'm going to hand this back to my colleagues in global engagement so they can tell you about immigration.
Thank you so much. That's great information. I know we're going to have questions. So thank you very much for presenting. Dr. DeCrosta, if you want to jump into with any comments on the immigration and opportunities. With this opportunity with the LL.M program, the students will be coming to the United States under the F1 visa. So this specific visa has a lot of benefits that come along with it that are much different than perhaps if you traveled to the United States before under a tourist visa. So you will be required to come in under the F1 visa, but that comes with a lot of great benefits. So as I said before, the Center for Global Engagement works with all accepted students to prepare the required documents for the I-20, which you will use to apply for the F1 visa. The F1 visa allows you to stay in the country for the whole time, the whole duration of your program. You won't have to leave at any point, but you will be able to leave if you desire. Of course, if you're going on a trip or something and you have the visa to allow you to go to another country. But the most important benefits of the F1 visa are the CPT and the OPT opportunities. So under this program was mentioned that you are able to do internship or experience opportunities. So the CPT program is allowing you to participate in those. And perhaps if they are paid, you are also able to make money and accept payment as well legally with the F1 visa. And you would work with our office to apply for that CPT. It's very easy to apply onto your I-20 and at a very straightforward process. The OPT is a little bit more complex, but the benefit is great. So what OPT is it allows you to work for 1 year after you finish this program. So it doesn't matter if you're on the bar track or on the general track, you would still be able to work in the United States for 1 year if you apply for this OPT opportunity, but you would have to work in the field of law, so that it is required that you have a job in your field of studies, but you'd be able to work in the United States for 1 year, and that would be on the F1 visa, so you would not have to reapply for a new visa, which is really what makes it a little bit more complicated for working in the United States. So for those of you who are professionals, that would be a great addition to your work experience. For those of you who are just coming out of school, a great opportunity for you to build your resume.
And I would say, this is a wonderful benefit for international students. Because this is only a 1-year program, you would have the opportunity during that time to do internships, through your immigration approval. So our office, as Sarah said, would work with you on that. We have an immigration advisor dedicated to help you through these requests. And if you had any questions regarding the process, you could always email us at intladmissions@duq.edu. That's international admissions, INTL admissions. But we're here to help you through all the steps of that process as well.
I think that you're getting a sense of all the support that you're going to receive if you attend this program. So our Center for Global Engagement, a group of experts in the area of international students, will be available to you. At the law school, we also have an Office of Career Services that you will also be able to access. So if you are looking for that OPT opportunity, we're certainly going to help you with that. We know all the employers will help you to develop the application, the resume, whatever it is that you need if you decide you want to pursue OPT.
Yeah, and I wanted to reiterate that point as well, Maureen, is I think that you'll find that you have a number of different forms of support here on campus. I mean, beyond our office and the law school, if you were to come here as a student, we find it very important, that student service is very important. And our mission at the university is to serve students as our primary goal here. So I think that you would find between the location in Pittsburgh, its access to the different legal aspects of the city and the county and the state and the nation, right close to our campus, as well as all of these wonderful employees and professors that you'd have access to. And Ed, I just wanted to, pass it on to you as well to see if you'd like to add anything, especially if some of our agent guests on the call have any questions about how this might work for them.
Well, certainly the application itself will run through Accelerate. So any of our agent guests on the call are going to be familiar with Accelerate through Educo. You'll have our RM system, all of our offshore coordinators are going to be kind of fully up to speed on this program. All of them will receive this show that we're recording right now. So any questions for them, just kind of forward those questions through our international admissions office. They'll be disseminated to me, and then I can work with anybody individually if you've got students or a cohort of students that are interested in more information. Thank you.
I have a question from some of the representatives that I work with that I can propose to our law colleagues here. So if you could describe the student that would be going into each of the tracks, perhaps you can present what you would imagine as the type of student that's appropriate for each track, because I think for our students, our prospective students, and also our colleagues working in education, it's important for them to understand really how prospective students could fit into this.
Dorothea, do you want to take that?
Yes, I can take that. So the bar track is particular for students who might have the intention to stay in the US, to work as a lawyer in the US, or to work as a lawyer in their home country, but be able to go to court in the US to have an admission to the bar in the US. As a general curriculum, is more for students who want to gain the experience of studying abroad, who wants to get the LL.M degree, which is appreciated in European countries and Asian countries as an additional degree for students to prove knowledge of a foreign legal system, knowledge of speaking fluent English, and getting better job possibilities than other students. So that's kind of the track where you have to thinking what you like to do in the future with your title. Do you like to add something, Maureen?
Only that the majority of the students who have completed our LL.M program have done the bar track curriculum.
That's really important to understand. And how long do you expect the students to prepare for the bar after this program is finished?
I can take that one. So we have a formal bar prep program here at the law school where we help students to prepare all along the way so that they can do some practice within the law school. We also have alumni mentors who will work with students as they prepare for the bar. So we'll do some of that while the students are in the program, they can learn about it. And then the formal bar prep will start right after graduation in May. And those students will, our LL.M students are a part of our commencement in May when the students graduate. And then the bar exam is typically held at the end of July. And so that's typically the timeline that they will be working on. Most students are going to be preparing full-time on the bar exam, but we do have a part-time program. And so some students here work full-time and they will be preparing in their off hours for the bar exam.
Thank you. That helps so much with our students, and also with our office, we would work with you on the immigration requirements to be able to fulfill those bar requirements and study hours as well. Well, I don't have any more questions.
I have one question
Yeah.
that we've received is, where do students live? And since you're coming from such a distance, although, sometimes law schools and graduate schools, we won't assign you housing, we certainly can help with that. So here at Duquesne, we have two opportunities for you to live right on campus. One is a private high-rise, and one is a university residence hall. So we'll certainly tell you about that. We also work with an app called Very Apt, VERYAPT, where working with our current students, they develop a list of opportunities for places to live around the area. Because we're in this urban area, you can live within walking distance of the campus. You can live a short public transportation bus ride away from campus or a subway ride. So we'll provide all of that information to students.
That's really important information. It's certainly a nervous time to come abroad, but knowing that you have a good place to stay makes all the difference. Wonderful. We have the contact information on the screen here. I know that all of us are very welcome to receive your questions, more direct questions, especially if you're watching this as a video. You can feel free to reach out if it's something was unclear to you, connect to anyone that is appropriate, and we'll get it to the right people. Any final comments?
I just think this is a wonderful opportunity for international lawyers. As you could see, we're reviving the program, and so we certainly hope to be able to work with you if you are interested. Feel free to contact us with any questions, and thank you all for attending.